What's good, YouTube? Sorry you're messing around in the garage, so I figured I'd make a video. Thinking about painting my rims up. Be a while before I get the ones I want, so I'm just gonna make these work. I'll paint them jet black because I don't want anything shiny on this project. So all gonna be black with just a little bit of red, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so if any of y'all ever painted your rims chrome and you know how to do it correctly, let me know. That's a couple of my guys that all told me they didn't tell me the finishing part, which I'm pretty much I'm a guess on that. But they said to get them Sickens pre-treatment wipes from Sickens Automotive, Sickens, but and use a reducer. I don't know. I'm gonna try that on my bumper because I don't know if I'm gonna be trying that stuff on my chrome. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a sample out on a bumper, but they said use a reducer, or a acetone or otherwise a lacquer thinner or something, and just do test samples on different spots. One spot reducer, one spot acetone, one spot lacquer. Let that dry and then put tape on top of that, and then peel that tape up. And whichever one peels up like a duct tape, you know what I mean, peels up the hardest, it's got the most grab to. That's the one you're gonna want to use to clean these rims with. And and they say they pretty much had the best luck with a reducer, a good clear reducer. So I'm probably just gonna try out that House of Colors reducer. But I'm definitely gonna try it on a spare bumper first, just to see how what it does to the chrome afterwards. But yeah, they say use that reducer and then clean it up real good, and then tape it off, and then clean it up with them wipes. After you tape it off, clean it up with them pre-treatment wipes or whatever from Sickens Automotive pre-treatment wipes. They come in a little round tube, I guess, with about like 50 wipes or something. I could probably put the link below too if any of y'all are interested. But yep, use that, and then you treat it just like as a paint job, I guess. So I don't know if you could go directly to base or if you got to throw on a primer and then a sealer. I'm not sure. I ain't painted chrome before, but yep, I didn't ask them that much. They just told me to use them pre-treatment wipes for chrome. You know what I'm saying, and do test samples for cleaning. You know what I'm saying. So that's where I'm at with that. So if any of y'all had any luck and did let me know how you did it on yours, because later on I might want to go back to chrome, if ever I sold these, I might want to get that off. So let me know what y'all did. Yep. So I'm going to make them work for now. Just 20s, but they're going to work. Yep. And then I got my frame on. I'm sure most of y'all seen it. Some of y'all might not have. It's all energy suspension, everything. Sway bar is the only thing that's OEM on there. Everything else is all aftermarket energy suspension. Energy suspension with all Moog. Moog suspension and energy suspension bushings. My bad. Moog springs. So, yep. Yep, YouTube looking good on there. My bumper, I took that all apart, cleaned that all up, put it back together, cleaned everything up, bolts and everything, painted them, clear coated all that this summer. But I don't know, now I'm not going that shiny, so I'm gonna paint that all up jet black too. I was thinking of even taking my bumper bolts and shaving them off like Chip Foose does on all his bumpers, so you don't even see the bolts, you know what I'm saying? So when I do paint it, that's all finished off smooth. I don't know yet, but might even take them little things off there and just make it a smooth bumper. I don't know yet, YouTube, but radiator core support all already sandblasted, epoxy primer. That's been sitting there for a while waiting. Frame's all done up. I did that and wire wheeled that down to pretty much that bare metal. It looked chrome when I was done with it. Waxed and greased it real good. Washed it. And then I used epoxy primer, and then I went over that with a chassis paint, and then a Nissan Select Clear, just a cheap clear. Yep. Same with them springs. I got them. They were moved. They came powder coated black, but I scuffed them up and painted them Corvette red. All that red you see is Corvette red. I went and got the color code out of a book and had them mix it up for me. It's all been top coated. Those are the LS 2002 Camaro brakes. Ain't got the rotors on there. They'd be rusting, so I got them all wrapped up. But I'm gonna have to get a different crossbar here for the LS swap. So, I mean, I got the mounts. Yep. All energy suspension bushings. My tubs, they're shaved. Epoxy primed. Got that House of Color. You don't need a flex add in any of the House of Colors products, so I don't gotta worry about adding no flex add to any of the flexible plastics. So my air dam I made up, but yep, this summer I'm gonna box this frame in since they got some spare metal at school there that's pretty thick. It's about as thick as this frame, so I'm gonna box that in. Maybe reinforce some of these welds up. Then I'm gonna be notching this frame probably this summer. I don't know. Not sure yet. I might just leave it though. It's a hard decision there, you two. If it wasn't painted, it'd be easy, but it's already all done up. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it ain't hard to blend it right back in. My rear, it's all done up. Got the Monroe shocks on there, but those I'll probably be taking off. Those will be going everything's I'll be going with the QA1, I think, coilovers. I want to try to keep it GM, so I'm going to keep trying to find that 8.5 out there, that rare 8.5. Eventually I'll come up on that, but for now I'm just going to go with this. My guy's got an 8.8. I don't know, I'm going to get that off of him out of his Mustang, so I might use that too, but I'm not sure yet. That's what I got going on there, you two. Got the Grand National gas tank over there just waiting for the LS swap. The old 7.5 gears, I think those are 2 series carrier with like a 273 or something. I don't know, those are some low gears. Junk. That's what was in there. I put the 323 Camaro ones in there, but it ain't posi, so that's gotta go too. Yep, you too. Now, like I said, now I'm going white, or now that I'm going all black, so the white I had already done up. Had that all wrapped, done, painted, ready to go. But now that I'm going black, white ain't really, fitting the color scheme, you know what I'm saying? It's all gonna be black with just a little bit of red. So I'm gonna take my other panels I got here and do them up. So, yep, I'm gonna do them up in either Sim Landu black, otherwise I'm gonna do it with the House of Colors jet black, you know what I'm saying, and just treat it like I would a bumper, you know what I mean? Yep. So I'm not sure on that yet, YouTube. Then my air compressor, that'll be my next project coming up here this summer. Once it gets nice out, I'm gonna run my lines for that. You don't want your water trap, or a regulator water trap right off of your air compressor. Regulator, it don't matter, but the water trap you don't want because it's just going to pass right by it. You know what I'm saying? Most people, like even me in the beginning, I have a water trap right here and I train that daily. But then at the SATA meeting, they were telling me that it just goes right by it. It's just, there's no sense of even being there. So you want it as far away from the air compressor as you can, you know what I mean, at the end of the line. So And they say for your lines to be optimal, it's 25 feet minimum and 50-foot optimum. And then anything over 50 is even better yet. Because coming out of this air compressor, you know, with the alternator and all that, that's got some heat, so you want to cool it down before it gets to your gun or whatever, you know. So you want to cool that down, and then you also want to get the water out. So that's why you want them water traps in your lines, you know, and you want to drain them daily, you know, so you don't get any rust or condensation in your lines or whatever, but drain them daily along with the air compressor. I extended that out so I don't have to reach all the way under there to drain it daily, and I just drain that daily. And then, like I said, I'm gonna get some lines, some black piping. They say the SATA guy said 1 inch is what you want for your main line, and then 3/4 inch drops. So it'd be 1 inch, you know, main lines going all the way around, and then any drops going down. Those could be 3/4 inch to, you know, like say if you got an outlet right there on the wall you're gonna plug into, that could be just a 3/4 going into a 1 inch. You know, your main lines are gonna be all 1 inch. But yep. So or, you know, if you got a smaller air compressor, you could just go by the size of the lines coming off your air compressor, from what they say. But 1 inch is what they recommend, and then 3/4 inch drops. So I'm just gonna go to get my 25 to 50 feet. I'm just gonna go out and then up, and then all the way over to the corner, and all the way over, and then down, and then over, and then right down there I'm gonna have a drain, you know, to drain it, a valve, you know what I'm saying, just like they got right here. And I'll just turn that and drain that daily, you know what I mean? And then it'll go back up, and then all the way over, and then down, and then over, then up, then over, then down, then over, and that's where I'm gonna have my regulator, right there in the middle of the wall. So it's pretty much gonna go all the way around, down, over, and all the way up and around. So that's definitely probably about 50 feet or more with a few turns in it. And when I go down right there, that one I'll have a drain, and that one I have a drain. So I'll drain those two daily, you know what I mean, the downspout. And like I said, when they run, they're gonna go back up and then over. So that way the water sits down there in that trap. So by the time it gets to my regulator over there, it should be dry, you know what I mean? Because it comes off here hot, and you want it dry unless you got a dryer, and those are, you know, $3-4 grand, I guess. So you just get a dryer unless you get them little small ones, but you want it dry before it goes to your gun, and you want it water free. So you're gonna drain them traps daily along with your air compressor trap. And I'll show you what that is. This is what I got. School hooked me up, so it's just a Sharp 606B, and that is a spray equipment. Just a, you know, these are blue. I painted this black, so you might not recognize it if you guys seen these. These come blue. And one side is going to be my outlet for my air guns, or I mean, you know, any of my air tools, you know, impacts and all that stuff. That'll be lubricated with a lubricator, you know, for oil going down the lines. And this side will be for my paint guns, and that's just going to be straight air going down. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no oil going down them lines. So that's what's nice about these. You got all these hookups all around on these. And then at the bottom, you could drain that daily too. You know what I'm saying? That's why they gave it to me. The valve broke on the bottom, so I just took it out and retapped it and put this screw in there. Before, it had a little peacock valve you just turn off. So I'll just get one of them later, but for now, I'll just undo that screw each day to drain that. But yep, one side will be for paint guns with no lubrication going through it, just, you know, air. And the other side will have it, will be lubed, you know what I'm saying? It'll have a filter for lubrication going to your air tools. But yep, that'll be at the end of the line. That's the regulator. You know what I'm saying? You just turn that little knob right there and set your pressure. So yep, you two, that's how I'll set my pressure on that, you know. You just hold the trigger on your spray gun and use one of them little gauges on your spray gun if you don't have one, you know, to set it. And just turn the gauge all the way open, so you're just using the gauge to see how much pressure is coming at the gun. And then you could turn this to, you know, say 29 psi for HVLP and 32 for RP. So you could set it right here permanently, you know what I'm saying, and then you wouldn't even need to gauge at your gun when you're spraying, you know what I mean, later on after you had it set once. But if you swap to RP, you got to turn it up to 32, so you'll have to check the gauge again. But that way, you know what I mean, you'll have it set right there at the compressor every time. So yep, YouTube, that's what I'm gonna do this summer. Got that all hooked up. I'm gonna use that black piping. The SATA guy said use black piping is the #1 usage for you know, these runs. They said copper is the best, but it's expensive, so they don't use it too much no more. So I mean, unless you got money, that is the way to go. Copper don't rust or whatever. Black piping gets corrosion inside, and that ain't good for your guns. You know what I'm saying? So black piping, you know, it's cheap though, but copper is the way to go if you got the money. Otherwise, black piping will work. That's what most shops have. And aluminum is what they're selling through SATA now, them quick couplers and all that, but that's pretty expensive. And even the SATA guy said, he goes, personally, I wouldn't buy it because it's just too dang much when you could get black piping. So black piping, there you go. And they said pretty much stay away from PVC or any of them plastic pipings you see in them kits, because they can explode, crack over time from pressure, this and that. And they said also any of them burrs inside or any of that plastic over time, I guess from pressure or something, can start to come off, I guess, and then that's shooting out, and that can be fatal if you're breathing and stuff. I don't know. But mainly they just said they crack or they go bad over time, so they're not safe. So the plastic PVC and all that is not recommended, but you know, they do sell it. So the best is all of it is copper piping, and then, you know, black piping is probably the mostly used though. So that's what I'm gonna use, the black piping with the sharp 606B water trap. So that's what I'll be using, YouTube. And then I'll also have that water trap at the gun, you know what I mean, the one you just screw right on. But yep, that's what I got going on, YouTube. Oh, and then I also think I'm gonna swap out to instead of going with the the OG clip, I think I might go with the Euro clip. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of these Euros lately, and it's got me thinking. I might do it up. I don't know yet, YouTube. Said I got my inners already done. Inner fender supports are all done up, sandblasted, epoxy. So yep, I'm ready to go, YouTube. But yep, I thought I'd just show you that, you know, what I'll be doing here with my piping and air compressor, get that all set up for my painting. I ain't gonna do nothing big in here. It'll be just small things, you know, like maybe some blend or touch up a fender or something like that, you know what I mean? Or just some small little parts, so it ain't like a full paint job or anything, but it'll be good enough just to mess around in the garage, you know what I'm saying? Won't be nothing to make no money off of, you know what I'm saying? Just personal little projects around this, you know? That should be good. I'll probably take the final painting into the booth, you know what I'm saying? I'll go rent or go to the shop I'm working at or something, you know, or at school and bring it in the booth. I'll just do the priming in here. That way you don't get none of that trash in your paint. But yep, YouTube, I'll try to get back at you. Let me know what y'all think about on how to paint them chrome rims if you guys have done it before. All right, YouTube.